Jen.
Good. How are
Oh my
you?
gosh. Good. How are you? My goodness. Who would have thought that the two of us alone on an episode? My goodness.
I did
It
not
has
see this in my crystal ball. I will say that.
listen, who had this on their bingo card for 2025? Come on now.
Not me. Not me at
I don't think
all.
either of us had it on our bingo card, but it's a great thing. I mean, we're keeping with what we do. We wing everything.
Mm.
I mean, what do you want to talk about? We're just gonna
I,
wing it.
look, winging it
My
through life.
goodness.
So why not do it for this too?
Exactly. You know what? I find that when we wing stuff, we wind up with a better show than if we actually plan something
Because
because
you never know where
there's
the
no
topic's going to
script.
take you.
Yeah, you never know where the topic's at. And it's more. I think it's more relaxed. I think that's the thing
Yeah.
is that people find it more relaxed where we're not struggling to find all of our research papers and do this and do that. It's more of a let's just sit down, have a cup of tea, and just talk it out. So
Right.
how has your hiatus been?
It's been all right. Just working hard, and we got a lot of stuff going on at work, so that took a lot of time, and we're still dealing with some of that stuff. And I got a cold or something that's trying to kick in, so hopefully I won't be sneezing or anything. It gets me a lot at work, but other than that, it's been busy, but
I know you have multiple things going on all at one time.
yeah.
And I don't think that I could ever um you know ever juggle all that stuff at one time. I just, and I got to hand it to your husband Bruce, who is a peach, who was helping us come up with the idea for the name of the show. We were using name generators and everything.
Yeah.
And everything.
He's good at that stuff. So that's why my brain was hurting too much. I was like, Bruce, you've got to help us because I can't do this anymore.
Right. You got to come up with something because I can't. And I could hear him in the background laughing. And every time I would check to see if it was an actual podcast, I could just see the look on his face, the eye roll. But unfortunately, we can't copyright anything. So, and again, we're keeping in tune with paranormal talk too, which is we're just winging it. We're having a good time. It's very relaxed, like I said, and we're not pressured to, I guess, what they want to call perform in certain aspects. So, you know what? How are you dealing with this disrespectful weather? Disrespect.
It is it's been very cold, and so my truck, it was acting up a little bit with it, and I think she's ready for warmer weather. But other than that, it hasn't been too bad. The boys are getting the worst of it because they work outside in it, so they've been doing a lot of snow removal and everything like that. But I will say I've had a ball watching videos of other people like Louisiana and Florida and the snow that they've gotten. And I watched a video earlier today of people in Florida, and it was like, this is why you cannot give people in Florida snow. They were literally, but they looked like they were having so much fun. They were throwing snowballs clean across the street at each other, at the cars that were passing by. People were dragging themselves on the back of cars down the street,
I know.
I was dying. It was so funny. And then we actually have friends in Louisiana, and they got snow for the first time. And they have a little girl, and she's like, we don't have a snowsuit. They don't sell snowsuits here.
No. Yeah.
So the picture I seen, she literally, they must have had her layered up, and then she had like a pajama onesie over
Oh
top of it
no.
so she could go outside. But it
Mm-hmm.
was funny because they're not used to it. And I'm looking at what they have and I'm like, well, that's nothing for us here, and they actually look like they might have gotten just a little bit more than what we got. But
Right.
other than
Right.
that, I've been dealing with it. It's been cold, but
Yeah.
I'll
I mean, I think I
march
posted
through.
on I think I posted on Facebook, I no disrespect to our family members and our witchy poos that watch us up in Canada. Okay, I love y'all. I got friends that live in Canada, but I'm sorry, Canada. I think you left your front door open and your disrespectful weather got out and came here. Now you need to come down here and get it, scold it, hit it with a switch, and bring it back to where you got it from, because it doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
Uh, the one scene that I did see from Louisiana was I think it was on YouTube, where this woman was talking, and I guess her car slid on
Mm-hmm.
like Route 5 or something, because she was talking and she's like, and you could hear her talking to her friend. She's like, no, my car spun out on Route 5 and I just left it there. I got out and walked the hell home. And and her friend, you can hear her on the other end, is going, but you're gonna miss the party. She said, like heck I am. She said, don't you worry. I got Bob coming up with an alternate transportation. We will be there directly. And she points the camera outside of her kitchen window, and I'm assuming it was her husband Bob, comes up the driveway in a fan boat in the snow.
Oh.
And he has this little air horn. He's like, beep, beep. And she's like, I got to go. I got to get the present and bring it out to the fan boat. I'll be there directly. I lost my ish. That was the most hilarious thing I had seen.
I bet. I
Um,
I wonder, how did she show how it did, or that was it?
no, that was it. It cut off because apparently she was missing the baby shower. She had the present, and she had to get out to the fan boat and her husband Bob. And apparently they fan boated all the way to the shower. No, but it is
Well,
what it is.
that's one way to get there. I would have liked to have seen that little trip, but
You know what? He could bring that fan boat up here anytime. I would love a ride in a fan boat.
yeah,
That's with me.
I would too. It looks
Yeah.
like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I heard you had a little bit of a topic or something to start us off with our new episode. By the way, I have a YouTube page now. So we are now streaming live on YouTube. It is Corner Cauldron YouTube page. And we are live on there now. So if you want to catch us on YouTube, go to Corner Cauldron. You'll see a picture of me with my nose ringing. And just click it and you get to see it. So we're blasted everywhere at this point. We do have a live chat. So those of you who are on my Facebook page, you can also go to PT2, go there on Facebook, and you can watch us and you can leave questions. So we do have a live chat. Don't forget that. So if you have questions about our conversation tonight, put them up in the live chat. It's just like when we were on the other platform. All right. Hopefully nobody is looking up my nose tonight. Anywho, go ahead. What did you want to bring to the platform tonight, dear?
So I was just
Mhm.
on TikTok, and
Uh-huh.
we get all
Uh-huh.
kinds of crazy stories and videos and stuff on TikTok, and this one happened to catch my eye.
Yep.
And it was a gentleman who was talking about, I guess, a
Mhm.
friend he had that lives in Tennessee near
Okay.
the, Appalachian Mountains.
Mhm.
And he said that his friend had this issue
Uh-huh.
um, where he was going to sleep and he was having nightmares.
Mhm.
And the first nightmare started that he was in his room. He has a bedroom
Mhm.
window there. And in the
Uh-huh.
nightmare, he woke up and there was this kind of like a pale white person,
Uh-huh.
like kind of just a few sprigs of hair on his head, looking in the window at him. And when he was looking at it, it
Mhm.
whispered to him, "Come outside." So
Ooh.
he woke up. When he woke up,
Mhm.
there was something still there. So he thought he was still sleeping. So he started to like rub his eyes and stuff. And then when he looked back up, it was walking away.
Oh
So he kept
my.
thinking to himself, I had to still be dreaming. This can't be real.
Mhm.
He said he got up, he went over to the window, and sure enough, there was a face print on his window where whatever it was
Mhm.
had been pushed up against the window.
Mm.
So he went back to sleep, didn't think much about it. He said it was a couple nights later. He went back to sleep, started having nightmares again. This
Mhm.
time it was the same being, but it was on his back deck at his French doors. And it was saying to him again, come outside. So
Mm.
he woke up and he was laying in bed and he was like, this is ridiculous. But he got up, he went out to the living room, he started looking at the doors. And at first, he said he was very like grateful that it wasn't there. So he was like, it was
Mhm.
just a dream. But then the
Mhm.
closer he got to the deck, he noticed that there was footprints outside the deck where in
Ah.
his dream, I guess it had been pacing and there was footprints in the
Mhm.
exact same pattern that it had been pacing in his dream.
Right.
So a couple nights later, it happened again, but
Mhm.
this time it was able to open his front door and come inside and was
Okay.
able to whisper the same thing again. So that's what the story was of what happened to the guy. And his thing was when you go to sleep, and we all go to sleep, we all lock our
Mhm.
windows, we lock our
Mhm.
doors, we're in our home where we feel at most comfortable and peaceful, and this is where we should be safe.
Mhm.
But if you don't close your blinds and you don't close your curtains, are you still inviting something into your house?
I get
And
it.
that was his question. And I
Mhm.
haven't been able to go through all the comments to see what other people post in there. But
Right.
you already know that when Bruce and I were in South Carolina, we kind of had the same thing happen.
Yep.
And we had left the curtains open the entire time that we were there,
Yeah.
except for that last night. And the last night that we closed those curtains,
Mhm.
nothing. We slept peacefully. We didn't have nightmares. We didn't wake up.
Mhm.
Nothing happened. So
Mhm.
it kind of resonated with me a little bit because we had kind of had that happen with
Ooh.
us.
Mhm.
And even though we're not in the Appalachias where we're at in South Carolina, we're not far from it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we're probably about
Mhm.
30 minutes to maybe an hour, if that, from it.
Mhm.
And it's crazy. So I'm glad to see that. Not that I'm glad that it happened to someone else, but I'm glad to see that it's not just us. And then
Right.
that was a question that I had of what people might think is,
Mhm.
you know, do you think if you leave your curtains open or your blinds open, are you inviting stuff into your house? And,
Mhm.
you know, kind of like, how is it possible? Because you feel like you're safe. Everything's closed, everything's locked up. But because you didn't close a curtain or a blind,
Mhm.
something has made its way into your house. So,
That is very true. And uh I know that before we went on air there was mention made of feral people.
mhm,
Now, I will let you know that in the Appalachians there are feral people. And they are people, and if anyone watching this doesn't know what a feral person is, they are mostly in the South, in the Appalachians, um, where they have kind of like turned their nose up at society. They don't want to follow society's rules. They want nothing to do with a governed body of people. They are
mhm,
very happy, almost being like a Grizzly Adams, living off the land. They
mhm,
hunt for their own food. They garden. They have no reason to come down off the mountain. And there are communities that do that. It's just not one or two people. You do have the most isolated people where there's one or two that just does it, because they're just fed up with society and they just want to do whatever,
mhm,
which is great. There is nothing wrong with that. But there have been communities for centuries that have lived up in those mountains. And funny enough, a great majority of them are from Scottish heritage.
Mm-hmm.
When the Great Consignment started in Scotland, the King of England at that time had decided that he was going to make the first, what was it called, eminent domain,
Mm-hmm.
where he was taking 250,000 people and throwing them off of their land that they had for centuries to make room for sheep, mind you. Sheep. They filled the land with sheep, threw the people off the land that they were laid claim to, and told them, you got to go somewhere else. You can't stay here. We don't care where you go. You just can't, you know, stay here.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them had moved to the what would have been the colonies, which started as the United States. And they found that in the southern states, the Appalachian Mountains were very much like their home terrain. It was wooded, it had hills, they had a good water supply, there were plenty of deer, plenty of wild animal to hunt, fertile lands. So it made sense for them to move up into the Appalachians and
Mm-hmm.
just stay there. Those people, some of them became feral colonies where they even have a medicine woman, medicine man. They don't need to come down for anything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pay taxes. They don't want any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so is it possible that it was a feral person? Yeah, not really. It's possible, but why would they come to a populated area? Because they don't want nothing to do with populated areas.
Yeah.
Basically, you stay off of their land, okay? Mind the signs, mind the and they don't put up signs that say feral people coming. Please, yeah, please stand back. It's little signs, like they'll put up markers somewhere where you know where to go and where you know you can't go.
Mm-hmm.
You don't bother them, they don't bother you. And the first time that I met a feral person or part of the feral community was when I took my daughter up to Banner Elk, North Carolina, where she was going to go for school. There is a university that is up there that is it's called Lees McRae College, and they are up on Grandfather Mountain. Now, in other
Mm-hmm.
episodes of other talks or other podcasts that we've done, you've heard me talk about Banner Elk, North Carolina, and
Mm-hmm.
it's up on Grandfather Mountain. They have a feral community. One of the teachers, pardon me, was a wildlife conservation teacher. She was once brought up in the feral community, but she left the feral community when she became an adult in order to, get a job and, make money. There were other reasons why she left, but she didn't go into great detail. And they still had communication with her, which is rare. Like she still had family that were feral.
Mm-hmm.
And she took us out into the woods and she remarked to my daughter that they called her Cricket because she was tiny like a cricket. So I'm gonna call you Cricket. And they took them up into the hills and said, look at these signs. Look for the signs. Be very smart. They're not street signs, but you know where their markers are. That is a sign for you to don't go any further. We're not going to bother you. Don't bother us. Because if you come up on that feral land, United States laws is out. They're going to do what they need to do and hold their judge and jury, which is fine. I mean, let them live in peace. Do whatever the heck they want to do. All right. I think what they had, and in the South, it's called a haint. So if you've heard me before talk about haints, that is a word that they use for witch or wood
Mm-hmm.
witch. That is very possible that it was a wood witch, and that person they're kind of feral. They stick to themselves and they're on their property into the woods. Kind of like the storybook, where you had to go through the woods to find the witch to, break the spell. And she asked for the
Mm-hmm.
heart. something, da, 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 and whatnot. And it's possible that they trespassed and she followed them and said, "Come outside. You think it's funny? Come outside." So you pestered me. I'm going to make your life a living nightmare. Is it possible that it was a spirit? Absolutely. Those woods in South Carolina, North Carolina, have a lot of history that go way, way back, from the W's to the S word, which I know we don't use on this show. Those of Native American nature.
Mm-hmm.
It is very possible that there are guardians on that land from other worldly things. And it's true. If you don't close your windows and your blinds, it's like putting two mirrors facing each other in your house. It's a portal. It's an invitation for them to walk in. They don't need your permission. It's not like a vampire where they need permission to come in your house. No, no. They see open access, they're gonna come in, and they can make your life a living hell. Trust me, they can do that. Uh, there are ways though to protect yourself from that. Just like you said, close your windows and your blinds. When you and Bruce did that, you were not bothered anymore, correct?
Mm-mm. No.
Close your blinds and your windows.
And it's funny because normally when, like, as soon as it starts getting night here, and we're in Delaware, I mean, there's nothing really around here. I live in a crowded neighborhood. And,
Right.
but as soon as it gets dark, I'm shutting curtains, I'm shutting blinds, I'm shutting everything. And Bruce always makes fun of me. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I just feel like once it gets dark, like I can't see out anymore. So I don't know who's out there. I don't know if
Right.
somebody's out there looking in my windows. And I was like, and it
Mm-hmm.
bothers me. I was like, so I
Yeah.
just start shutting curtains, shutting blinds, and it makes me feel more comfortable. But
Yeah.
it was weird because the first time in South Carolina, we did shut the blinds and the
Mm-hmm.
curtains, and and
Mm-hmm.
I was, I don't know if it's because it was our first time there, and that's just how I was. And then when we went down the last time, I was like, you know what? Why bother? We're out here in the middle of
Uh-huh.
nowhere on 5 acres. There's nobody behind
Mm-hmm.
us. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about it. We're not on level ground. We were kind of elevated, so I wasn't
Right.
concerned about it. And
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't until that, all that happened, and I said something to him, and he's looking at me, and he's like, "Well, so have I." And I'm like, "Well, this is weird."
Right.
And I was like, I just think, I said, "I'm going to shut these curtains tonight." And sure enough, that was it. We
That
slept
was
like
it.
babies, no nightmares, no tossing and turning, no nothing. So, I mean, I don't know what it was, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else is out there that causes other people to have those issues, but I will definitely still to this day, till probably the day I die, be a very firm believer in closing my curtains.
And that would be a good thing to do. And I'm just checking my Facebook page to see if anybody left any messages and didn't know how to get on the chat. But anywho, it is very important to do that. There are other ways to protect yourself too. Have you ever heard of witches? A bottle tree.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a bottle tree. Bottle trees they originated in the South.
Mm-hmm.
So specifically, more or less, Louisiana, and I believe some parts of Florida, like the southernmost tips of Florida. They and I want to say maybe Georgia they went up to, but this goes back to the days of the slave trade, where a lot of cultures were getting mixed because they were introducing slaves into the southern culture via way of New Orleans. The ports of New Orleans were a lot of places where the slave boats would drop off slaves. And they would mix their Afrocentric culture with ours, from all the way from Haiti to South Africa, parts of Kenya, places like that. Um, the Caribbean islands, Jamaicans, all over the Virgin Islands, they were taking slaves and enslaving them, putting them in boats and sending them to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
They were mixing their spiritual beliefs with some of them with Christianity. Some of the Afro-Latino cultures were mixing them with things like Santeria, uh, the Oresha, the Babalao. They were mixing them with Haitian voodoo and hoodoo practices. And bottle trees were very important because they were very superstitious. They believed that there were bad spirits, and the only way to do that was to make a bottle tree. Well, one of the ways to do it was to make a bottle tree. If you're unfamiliar with bottle trees are on a form, just like it was like a picture it as a metal naked Christmas tree that just has branches.
Mm-hmm.
You put bottles on them. And what happens is that when the wind blows, it makes a noise. And that noise entices spirits, bad spirits, into thinking that they're going into your home, but they're not. They're going into the bottles, and it traps the spirits and keeps the bad spirits encased in those bottles. Bells, putting bells at your door. They call them witches' bells. Witches' bells can be something as simple as door hangers. I have one on my door, and I'll show you right here.
Mm-hmm.
Little Christmas, or not Christmas, Halloween bells.
I have one.
Yep. Anything that makes bells, that makes the noises, that scares the evil spirits away. Witches' ladders. Putting black salt around your home to make sure that you are protecting your home. If you are religious and you're Catholic, maybe you want to have the local priest come, introduce yourself to the congregation that you're going to be spending a lot of time with if you've moved and you are thinking about going to church. Introduce yourself to the pastor or the priest and ask them over for some tea or ask them over for some coffee and say, hey, while you're here, would you mind throwing a quick blessing on my property and my house? Putting blessed metals on all four corners of your property. There is also a Norse symbol called an algiz that you can put on your property. Put it above your door. Every window that you have in your home, any space from the attic, if the attic has like a vent window, put one above there. And an algiz is basically this. You'll see it sort of look like this. It's a Y with a stick in the center. Kind of looks like an old pitchfork.
Mm-hmm.
That is a sign of protection. Algiz protects people from negative spirit, negative intentions. I would put those just in a small space, and you can do it with eyeliner. You can do it with eyeliner, or you can do it with, I would take some olive oil, mix some basil or some lavender in it, or rosemary, put some rosemary in it to just infuse it. Take it with your finger and draw an algiz, one over each window and each opening and each door in your home. Make sure when you go to bed at night, you close that, because a lot of people believe that's soul snatching, that's what they want to do. Because if they see you, they're going to snatch your soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want, you know? So with that being said, just like you said, close your windows and your blinds at night. You wouldn't get undressed and naked in front of an open window, would you? Don't invite a spirit. I mean, if you're into that, okay. That's all you, honey. Boo. You do you, boo-boo. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's something that you and your husband or some of your boyfriend want to do. That's fine. Right?
It all depend on who was outside.
Oh. I love it when he comes in with that. Yes. Depend on who outside. If it's somebody of importance, yeah, sure. But I'll tell you what, I ain't trying to invite no hate into my house. That's for sure.
No.
And with all this fluff and nutter I got going on in my body, that would make people run away. I'm a deterrent. I'm a deterrent. Okay. That is me. This is a deterrent. Okay. So just make sure you close your windows. We got so sidetracked. Just make sure you close your windows at night. Okay. We need to make sure that this show stays PG-13. This is the first episode, and I already got Jen snorting over here.
I was gonna say you got me snorting.
Poor Jen out here snorting. See, this is why we call it witches winging it, because that's what we do. We're here for the laughs and the tea. That's me. Here for the laughs and the tea. If I can brighten someone's day and make their day feel better, that's me.
Yeah.
But for God's sakes, close your dang windows.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see all your niblets and your bits hanging and sagging and dragging in front of a window. No.
Yeah, no, mine are always closed. I ain't trying to show nothing.
Yeah,
but
well, I don't care whether you alive and you got a pulse or you unalived. Okay, I don't want to see. I don't want you seeing all this. I have a hard time looking at myself in the mirror. I don't need somebody else watching it. Anywho, put your dang lips. Put some witches ladders up at your house. Put some black salt around your house. You got a barbecue outside. Mix some of that charcoal with some. And here's another thing. People think I don't have any black salt. You want to make some black salt? Very easy.
I make my own.
Yes. Charcoal.
Yep.
Charcoal and regular good old fashioned Morton's. Not a sponsor. Morton's kosher salt. Make yourself an entire silo full. If you're making yourself a silo full, I don't want to be around you. Don't call me. That's another. Don't call me. No,
that's too much. That's too many problems.
That's too many problems. I am Captain Chaos myself. I am fueled by caffeine, sarcasm, and bad decisions. I don't need anybody else influencing me in any way, shape, or form. Okay,
yeah, that's right.
I'm dangerous on my own. I don't need help.
I get enough trouble by myself.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, I don't need help. But that could possibly be it. That's more than like we discussed this before when you first went to look at the property.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you about all that goodness going on. Just make sure that you are not overstepping your boundaries.
Yeah.
Could it be a curious spirit? Yep, sure. Wait a minute. Did it say whether this person had just moved onto the property or they had lived there? That's another thing.
I don't know if he said or not, to be honest.
Okay.
And I'll have to go back and double check that. But I don't remember if he said if he had moved there recently or if he had been there and maybe went out and thought maybe he brought something back.
That's a great possibility too, because you got all them spirits living out there in them woods, and again, a long history of Southern superstition.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You have to be prepared when you move to another state, especially the South. The South is a whole nother animal.
Mm-hmm.
A whole nother animal, a whole nother culture of superstitions that a lot of us Northerners are not used to. Not used to at all. I mean, you can't go down in the bayou of Louisiana without finding a witch's ladder on somebody's porch or some bells.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the very least, a witch's tree.
Or their front door painted haint blue.
Haint blue. That's what they got. Haint blue. See? Look. Man, she onto something right there, Missy. Haint blue.
Haint blue.
And tell us why they call it haint blue.
It's to ward off the evil spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So and I guess the haint as a witch was not, the best thing. So they called it haint blue. But yeah, I was watching something, and she was like, yeah, she goes, I didn't realize, the lady was saying, she goes, I didn't realize that painting your doors different colors meant different things. And she said, my door has always been red since the day that I moved in. And she goes, and then I realized when I started, researching it, that I think she said red meant everybody welcome or something like that. And she was like, not here, we're not.
Literally.
So she researched her colors, and she was like, nope. She was like, we painted it Hank blue. So
yeah, no, that's what you got to do. And you will find a lot of them painted Hank blue. Just as a form of protection.
Yeah.
Colors mean things. Why do you think that us witches use certain colored candles when we are performing ritual or we are casting? We use certain colors of candles to represent certain things, or we want to manifest certain things. Yeah. So that's what we do. We do different colors for different things. Like if I want to banish something, or if I wanted to do baneful magic and really make somebody's life a living hell, literally, black candles. Black candles. Red is for love. Pink is for compassion and peace. Blue is usually for tranquility. Purple can mean a lot of things. It could stand for like you missing someone. Purple in my spiritual practice is used sometimes for doing divination or wanting to call to the dead to say that I miss you, or I hope this message reaches you. That's why you will see as ordinary modern people, when they have sympathy cards, it's usually purple, or something that means a death is purple. It's either purple or it's black. If you want to bring good luck for money, or just plain good luck, you don't have to have a money spell. Green. Luck of the Irish. Green. Orange means something different. Brown means something different. Silver, gold, a whole plethora of candles could mean something. If you are into the spiritual practices, if you want to continue spiritual practices down there that are familiar with people that live in the southern states, or you come from a family who practices hoodoo or voodoo, maybe you want to research and get a hoodoo or voodoo practitioner or priestess to come bless your house, rid yourself of the negative spirits, move stagnant energy along, give it a sign, so that when these spirits, like the Haints, the W's, the SWs that show up sometimes, if with native practices like that, that's a sign to them. It's not a visible sign, it's a force field. So they feel it and they avoid it. They understand. I think what most people don't understand is that down south there is a lot of, well, anywhere. You can't spit anywhere in the United States and not fall on native land from somewhere, some far away ago. And if that is an issue, and you see native spirit, or you hear drumming, or you hear them, and I don't know the correct term, but I call it trail calling, where they make the noises, hollers, they hoot. The best thing to do is say, listen, I don't want to disrespect you. I don't want you to disrespect me. All right. I put a lot of money into this house. Okay. I want to live in peace and on good terms with the spirits that are here on this land. I want to make them understand that they are welcome, but if they're going to cause a ruckus and kick off, then they got to go. period.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's native, the best thing for you to do is to go buy some tobacco. Or if you know someone who smokes cigarettes, ask, can I have about 3 cigarettes? Take the wrapping off, get the tobacco, and spread the tobacco across the tree line, letting them know this is a gift for you, a gift of peace, tobacco. Plant fruiting trees or fruiting bushes like blueberry, blackberry bushes, raspberries, cherry trees, anything that's fruiting. Put a couple at the edge of the property line facing the woods so that they know that that's for you. That's for
Mm-hmm.
the animals that you protect that are on your land. This is for you to eat. This is a peace offering. And don't pick anything off of that tree. If you got little kids, Tom, plant something somewhere else for them to pick. Say you are not allowed to go there. That's not yours. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's you can't touch that. So that there is no sign of disrespect, and just say, hey, listen, I just want to live in peace. That's all I want to do. I'm not going to
Yeah.
bother you. You don't bother me. Oh my goodness. We disappeared for a minute. We froze for a second. So I don't know. Would you consider that maybe a hint?
His story.
Yeah, both of your stories.
Well, mine possibly, like I said, because he's seen a woman in white, so I would more lean towards that in mine. But his,
Yeah.
no, his I wouldn't. I don't think I would lean towards that, just for the description that he gave of what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I would quite. I mean, I don't know. I like the pale whiteness of the body kind of leans me towards one way that I won't say, but a part of it also kind of makes me feel like it might be something else. So I'm not sure, but I don't think it was a hint.
You know what I think too, when I go back and I think about the description that you gave, I want to say, could it possibly have been a rake?
Yeah, I mean, every story that I've heard of them, it's always been seeing them like, running or, and I've seen pictures and I've seen people draw stuff that they think they've seen it, but I don't think I've ever heard a story. Do they talk? I mean, I know that was what threw me off, because it was, there and it was telling them to come outside. So do they talk? Are they able to do that? I don't know a lot about them to know that.
And again, that's something that I am a little color everybody's shocked, a little negligent on, is the history of rakes. I have not heard anyone say that they do talk, and I haven't heard anyone say they don't talk. I don't think that anyone has ever gotten close to one, you know what I mean, in order for it to say something. Is it possible that it was a humanoid spirit that maybe had died on the property and the person was just disfigured? Possible.
I mean, that is a possibility. There was one story that I did hear that somebody was telling, and I kind of feel like it was more towards being a rake in this one, because I had the same type of body when they finally seen it. But what threw them off was it was, I guess, like a hunting party that they were all going out to do. And the two of them were left. And when they got out, but the thing was, the description of what I seen, or not that what I seen, but what they said they seen, would lead me towards that. But what he called it was, he called it a witch. So that's what they were afraid of once they passed a certain point in the forest, that there was a witch out there. And he said it started with hearing what sounded like a woman screaming, "Help me."
Okay.
So the younger of the two was like, "We need to go help." And he's like, "No." He's like, "Don't trust it." He's like, "We need to go back." And he said, as they were moving through, he said it started sounding like it was getting closer. So they stopped and they were, just being quiet. They wanted to like look, see like where it was coming from. And they finally spotted it. They explained what would, be like the thin white body. What it was down on its like hands and like legs, like it had been crawling. And they literally watched it put its head back and scream out like a woman, "Help me." And at that time, I guess one of them had moved and made a sound, and its head snapped to where they were. And when that happened, they said they kind of like locked eyes with it, and they said it smiled and then took off in their direction. So then that's when they took off and started running to get out of the forest to get away from it. And that sounds to me like it would be a rake, but they called it a witch. So I'm like, I don't know. Is it the same, like the same thing, but they're calling it that because that's what they call it in their, ethnicity. Like that's what they look at it as. I don't know.
Now, to me, now that you've said that, you've said the whole thing where its head snapped back and it was screaming, "Help me." I kind of what was going on. That could be one of two things. Not necessarily a rake. Okay. I want to say that it was either, now for all y'all people who don't believe in these things, maybe you better plug your ears, but I've seen them. I know that there have been multiple people that have seen them. A demon, or something that they call wood witches. Wood witches are exactly that. They do not leave a certain area. They will go outside of the wooded tree line only so far, and then they disappear. They are there to basically snatch souls. They are there to harm you. They are there to harm you. That's what they want. That is they are none good to the nth degree, number one. And I am glad that they didn't go back to help it.
Yeah.
Because once they do illusions of like oh well, I didn't see any of the questions. I don't know. She, probably on the PT2 page, or she's on my page. Asking Jay White wants to know if it's a banshee. Jay White, you can ask questions, ma'am. I don't know what you waiting for. You can be on my Facebook page asking questions, asking away. Now there were 9 comments made. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna silence it. And this is, I don't know why they're not coming into our private chat. You know why? Because I have it on private chat, you big old dummy. I have it on private chat, which, oh, look at all the questions. Look at all the questions. I told you this. You know what? This is why we called it Witches Winging It, because,
this is all new.
They're on the stream. Oh, they're on the StreamYard. Okay. This is all new to us. Okay. So you're going to have to excuse us for today. Going back to, okay, I got PT2, with the cold chills, airboats. We missed so much, Jen. Look at this. There are just a plethora of questions. Look, new comments coming in as we speak. Yeah, let me go back out and in. Okay. What about a banshee? Um, I would say not a banshee. Banshees do not come inside your home. Number one, they do not come inside your home. They stay predominantly outside. They do not speak per se. You know what I mean? They don't ask to come inside. They don't ask. They are basically,
Don't they
I want to
normally
say
kind of
mute.
stay with like within their family line?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're right with that. So banshees have a very Irish, but that's a good guess, Jay. That is a very good guess. And I promise that if you come on here for Corner Cauldron and come back for the future, which is Winging It, I'll have it in the right chat because I was just saying howdy everybody and left it in the freaking private. Oh, I can't even talk today.
Oh, you're gonna be snorting again.
Private chat. I was in the private chat the whole time. I know. I understand. Keep it on comments. PT2 is saying, keep it in the comments. I said, listen, I thought I had it in the comments. Okay. This is the kind of day we've had today. Okay. This is the kind of day we've had today. Getting back to banshees. We all know the banshees are basically Irish. They follow Irish folklore. Glitch, I don't know who happened. I happened. It was all me. It was me and Jen. We happened. I don't know who happened. Are you from Whoville? With the who happens? What can I say? So
we're figuring it out.
We're just figuring it out. We're just figuring it out. Okay. Just like the rest of y'all. And to think that this is now going to be posted on YouTube. Oh my word. The comments from YouTube. I can't wait to see them. I'll have to share them with you, Jen. Okay. Now that we've passed that, banshees are predominantly Irish. If you follow Irish folklore, they are nonverbal. Okay. They do not speak. They don't ask to come inside. Banshees usually stay off in the distance, or they'll stay on your property, but not on your porch. Like they'll be like out on your front lawn, staring at the house, wailing. Excuse me. They wail. When they wail, that is a sign that someone in that house is going to die. Most of the time, within 72 hours, that somebody is going to die. So I wouldn't classify it as a banshee. Very good guess, Jay. I'm going to stick with that. Hey, Teresa. Look at all the people that I see that I see now that we're not, you know, because my dumb ass had it in the private chat the whole time. Yeah. So howdy everybody. I've just been plugging along here. Don't mind me. Don't make me come. Oh, well, I'm not trying to make you come on there. Come on here. I'm not. I promise. I'm behaving myself.
Bugs out.
PT2 is like, don't make me have to come on there. Calm down. Good things the blinds were down. He said, good thing the blinds were down. Ha!
They're not right now.
Well, mine aren't. I can turn this camera around and tell you mine aren't. But I'm like 3 stories up. So
yeah, I'm upstairs. You know, so if there's anything behind me, we're gonna have issues.
We're gonna have issues. I'll come flying to your house. Just let me warm up the broomstick. I'll be over shortly. Okay. Tell Bruce to put a pot of coffee on because we're gonna need it.
It's already on.
Okay, sweet. I didn't even have to ask. He knows me.
There's always a pot of coffee on as soon as we get home from work.
Look at the comments from PT2. Oh, good Lord.
What? I can't help it.
She's a mess. She's just like me. That's why we click. It's exactly like me. Oh. She's me, but prettier and skinnier.
Stop it.
Okay. Anywho. Good guess, Jay White. We're gonna say that it's not a banshee. If anybody has any more guesses,
That is a good topic though for next time.
That is a good topic for next time, Banshees, because I think, did we cover Banshees one time when we were on, or was that with Jimmy?
I don't know if we did or not.
I think I want to say you know what we covered. Did you see that comment from him?
We make it easy around here. They're on the work van out front.
You just need to grow up in the driveway and steal one off the work van. Oh God, I think we covered.
We don't make you work too hard around here for things.
No. Yeah. We covered those on the Corner Cauldron. Jimmy's right. Jimmy said we covered those on the Corner Cauldron.
Okay.
I'm reading. I have my phone. This is great. Look, I've got the phone working. I got everything working here. It's just one of those things. What can I say? Look, I got the phone working. I've got the stream questions going on down the phone.
I know. I see you keep moving around. Your hands are going. Then I hear click, click, click. And I'm like, she is multitasking.
I am multitasking, people. I am multitasking. Dave Cummings is watching. Thank you, Dave, for watching. Jimmy says we covered those on Corner Cauldron, but that doesn't mean we can't revisit because we're winging it. We be winging it. You know what? I'm just putting my dang phone right here. There we go, right here, so I can say them and you can say I can stop fidgeting. Okay.
Hey, you do you.
You do you, boo boo. I saw an episode. Who was that? Someone said that they saw your sister. Hi, Joanne. Your sister said she saw an episode of Paranormal caught on camera, and there was an episode that scared me. They think it was a rake. And if it was, it spoke because he kept hearing someone say, "Help me." Then as he went further into the forest, he got very quiet, and then you saw the gray thing walk out of the woods. That was a crazy episode. I'm not saying that it's that it's not a race. I don't think that I have ever heard someone say that they don't talk, and I haven't heard someone say they do.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, personally, for me, I don't feel like I know that much about them, or I've heard that much about them in all the things that I've seen or I've read. I don't know that we know that much about them, whether they talk or not. And I mean, who's to say that, somebody hasn't come up against one that has spoken. And I mean, I'm sure they're smart in their own way, and they are probably very well capable of mimicking what they hear.
Oh yeah.
I mean, ravens and crows can mimic what we say, so why can't they? I mean, they're going to know enough to be able to lure us in to do what they got to do.
You're right. And PT too said that they say a few words, they mimic someone in distress. So it was very possible that what this person saw might have been a rake. Good catch on that one. I mean, I have never come across someone who has stayed long enough to ask it questions. Like when it said, "Help me," go, "Excuse me, are you a rake? I just want to know, just in case." And, do you talk?
Do you have a first name? Maybe last name?
First name. We're just going to call you Bob. There you go. Bob. Bob the rake.
Bob the rake.
Or Randy the rake. There you go. Randall. Randall the rake. I can't help it. This is why I love doing the show with you, Jen. This is exactly why I love it. We egg each other on. We are like,
hold my beer.
Away. Yeah, hold my beer. Hold my tea. We're gonna have a lot of that going on. This is only episode 1. Can you imagine? 50 episodes in, you're not gonna care. Jen's hair is going to be down. She's going to be drinking beers on the show.
Like, hold on, I gotta get my beer.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta get my beer. Let me kick my shoes off and
Have my coffee, pour my Baileys in it.
Oh yeah, put the socks up on the table, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord. So yeah, it's very possible. If that's the case, then I'm gonna be like the Judge Judy. I'm gonna bang my gavel. I'm banging my vitamins. Rake. Dismissed. Pay the bailiff. Pay the bailiff. I'm gonna say that it's a rake. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, if they can talk, which apparently now Joanne is confirming that she's seen an episode that it was able to speak.
Right.
You know, they mimic people in distress.
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible that's what it could have been. You know, telling them to come on outside. So he had something nefarious for him.
I am not staying to put the boxing gloves on and go, well, okay, what you gonna do then, huh? I stay outside. I'm coming outside.
No. Gonna walk over and shut those curtains.
Features that stood out. Okay, so we have someone in the chat said, Joanne, did the rack have any features that stood out? The rack. PT2, the rack. Oh my goodness. If I will sit here and watch the comments just for the misspelled words.
You ought to know who it is if it's a misspelled word.
I know exactly who it is. I know it's exactly who it is. Oh my word. Oh my goodness. It was tall, skinny, and gray.
What do you think I go by PT2? Hell, I can't spell my own name.
Tall, skinny, gray.
Well, damn. Okay. I know we all know who it is, but okay. It's tall, skinny, and gray. Did they just? But this had. I have never. I can't say this. I'm gonna retract. Have I never? Have I never ever? Never.
Never have I ever.
Have I ever seen a rake with hair? No. All of the supposed. Look at this. Supposed videos that I've seen and pictures. It did not have hair.
Yeah, they were very like grayish skin, no hair, very like sickly looking. Which is kind of what the one story he said it looked like, but like he just said it was just like 3 or 4 like little sprigs of hair.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it was a full head of hair, wasn't a roundabout comb around. It's just a couple.
He didn't have the horseshoe going. He didn't have the comb over like the three hairs that were doing this.
No, he might have had the 3, but I don't think it was combed over. It was just sticking up.
It was like this.
There was no styling that day.
There was no styling. It was just like this, like it was
blowing in the wind.
Like three strands of this.
That was what it looked like when he got out of the convertible when he got there.
I can't with you.
He was all scared. It was just wind blown.
Like this.
All I can see is Mac and Me. Remember that movie?
This. Yes, it eventually did this. And he had to, push it up with the air.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I can't. This show is going to be funny. Look, your cheeks are all red. My cheeks would be red if somebody could see them. I mean, it's just, the lighting in here, we will work on this. This is not going to stay. This is just oh crap, I've got like 15 minutes. So let's just throw shit up here.
That was me. You should see me trying. I was like, Bruce is like, do you need help? I was like, probably. I was like, I've never done this before.
I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I think the consensus was when we heard we were going to video was what? What? You mean I have to make sure that I actually have an outfit on? Like I have clothes on? I'm not in the
That's what I
bathroom.
did when I heard. I was like, what?
Look, the next episode, I'm coming out with some big pink curlers. I'm gonna go to the dollar store and buy me some foam pink curlers and put them in my damn hair.
I'm gonna get me a t-shirt made up that just says "Hold my beer."
Yes. Bruce, I hope you're listening. You were trying to print screen shirts. I think we need to find one to say "Hold my beer."
I'll have him make one of them up too.
You can have one that says I need him to make one that says "Hold my broom."
Hold
my broom. I'm going. Joanne said, "What didn't he have a mohawk?" She with her laughy emojis.
Mac and me? No, he didn't have a mohawk. Don't make me look him up.
Didn't have a mohawk. Yeah. No, I
don't remember it.
I don't know. What are you referring to there, Joanne? Mac and me? Because I don't ever remember that having. Don't forget the puffy robe. Apparently, Dave Cummings thinks that I need to have a puffy robe. Well, that will be in tall order, sir. You know what? I have a puffy robe too. Watch me. Watch me. The next, which is Wingin It, I'm gonna have my blue puffy Tommy Hilfiger robe. I just dated myself. Tommy Hilfiger robe. That I bought from the outlets. My big pink curlers in my hair, and I may put a full face mask on. Who knows with me, but then I won't be able to see because then my glasses will keep sliding off my dang face. But anyways, I think that would be it. What do you think? I think it's a rake.
I think that's what it is. That's what it sounds like to me. So I think we're gonna go. I think that's what we're gonna go for.
Mm-hmm. Which differentiates it from your story, which you actually, it was a woman.
Yeah, that's what Bruce said he saw. He said he saw a woman in white.
I saw a woman in white. Oh, yeah. Look, now Joanne all got her. What? When did I ever say Versace? Because I'm watching this on my phone. You know, I have the sound off to get all the comments, and the word Versace came across the screen. I never mentioned the word Versace. All of a sudden, it's like, you know, the closed caption Versace. Anywho's, Joanne's she's a little hurt. She said, I was chiming into the joke, but it's gone and past now.
My bad.
Oh, excuse me, madam.
Does she need a hug?
Do you need a hug, madam? You wait till I see you, madam. But yeah, I would classify that as a rake then. What you saw, I think, was indeed a haint, or what would have been a wood witch, which I think I remember saying to you last time when we talked about it. Now she's doing the laughy emoji with the tears and the hearts. You big old goofball. Which to me, I think, was kind of questioning you because you were outsiders. You were new to the property. And I think it was testing you. Like, you know, this is my property. You don't go past this certain point, you know, because here I am. You're new. Or you, more or less the outsider. But with that being said, you know, it's all love. I know it's all love, honey bunny. I would at that point say, you know, too bad. Guess who just moved in? Trouble. You know, and we're going to find ways. Yeah, trouble, my middle name. Please don't listen. It's not like I can get in a car and just drive to South Carolina. You call me in the middle of the night. I think the wood witch is out. She's trying to get me. Oh my God. What do I do? No.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah, this is not a time for you to be on FaceTime. Okay, here's what you do. You got these ingredients. You put them in here. You light it on fire and you just start shaking it around.
Oh, Molotovs. I got that. We good.
Not Molotov cocktails.
Sorry, it's too much Call of Duty.
Listen, that's alcohol abuse, honey. I've been saving that alcohol for after. Cleanse myself from the inside out.
I got plenty. I got a bar.
Yes. Cleanse myself from the inside out. Just as long as it's the cheap stuff. Like if it's the 2 Fingers tequila or the the
I got the moonshine for that.
Yeah. Was it the Fred Sanford show? Shampipple. If it's the Shampipple and you pay, or the Boone's Farm, you paid $2.50 for it, then that's okay. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. As long as it's the Boone's Farm strawberry. Yeah. No. Or the MD 2020, but it's got to be the purple one. Or not the purple one, the blue one. My goodness. Alrighty. Well, we have been on here an hour. Can you believe it?
No.
An hour, Miss Ma'am. And we were told that that we needed to shorten it, keep it down to probably about an hour or so. So, I mean, is this something that you think you want to continue talking about?
I mean, I think we've gone through it with that. So, I mean, I'm good. And, we'll just work on it for next show.
I mean, look, PT2, they keep muscling in on our page. Look, we got real tiny. And
he got real big. He puffed his chest.
He got real big. He puffing out his chest. He like, look at me. That's the high sign for him. Get off the air. When he gets real big, get off the air. We spent too much time on the air. Jay White says you can keep going. LOL. We're glad. I hope you guys enjoyed this new format, and I love being able to see Jen's facial expressions. I really, really do.
Look, I warned you before we started. You're gonna see all kinds of stuff up in here.
Look, same here. Messy hair, don't care. But I think it makes us more tangible. You know how those people have that pristine background, the pristine background. They're drinking the sparkling water while they're talking. They have the big boom mics and the whole deal, and pretty lights and all that crap. No, we're real. We're the hood version of podcasts. Okay.
I'm in my witchy room. This is it.
Yes, we're in our witchy rooms, honey, because I don't know what you're talking about. People think it's some dark closet somewhere. This is an everyday, and everyday debacle, and a thing of organized chaos, basically. I still can't find where I put my mugwort. Can't find where I put my graveyard dirt half the time. Have to stop when I'm doing spells because I can't find something. But that makes me lovable, I guess.
Makes you.
It makes me, and say it was Joanne, your sister said, say it with your chest, PT2. Say it with your chest. Putting that chest out. All right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this. Please leave us comments. You can even go back after and comment, and we'll see them.
If there's anything that anybody wants us to look into or discuss or anything, definitely put that so I can do some research and find out some good facts and stuff too.
Yep. You can go. Is there an email address you can give them, Jen, or some kind of way that they can contact you with questions?
Yeah, they can send anything to my email, which is Jen Dodson, DODSON 79 @gmail.com.
79 at gmail.com. I think I said, oh no, I didn't. It's .com. I said XCOM, but it's
There's no
.com.
X. It is not X-rated.
There's no X. Please comment. It's not X-rated. Please don't ever say that. I'll figure it out, Jen. 79 at gmail.com. There we go. I think I did it right that time. You check it out and tell me whether I did it right that time.
That is it.
And you can reach me at Ghost Whisperer. If I get my fat fingers out of the way. 18 at gmail.com. I think I spelled it right. Yep. If you have any questions or if you have topics you want us to discuss, this was our first night being on the air again. Oh, look, now we're real goddamn big. Look at it. I love the let us know. I have also started a YouTube page. This is being dumped onto Corner Cauldron YouTube page. It's something that I'm going to add bits and bobs to. It's just going to be a random mishmash of stuff that I'm going to do. I may do tarot card readings live. I'm definitely going to download both which is Wingin It and Corner Cauldron onto that, so people that subscribe to YouTube get a chance to see it. It's on there. We are hoping that we're going to have a special co-host on Monday. Unfortunately, Jimmy's not going to be able to make it. Bro, he's got something that he needs to do. So I have asked a special co-host to come on with me to talk about a subject. And I'll fill you in on the Corner Cauldron page and on my YouTube or my Facebook page. Hope you guys can join us again. This was great, Jen. I enjoyed this a lot.
It was fun. It's good to be able to talk to somebody and see somebody and interact.
Yes, exactly. It's like we're just sitting in everybody's living room. My goodness. So with that being said, Jen, you have anything else to say?
No, just everybody stay safe and keep it spooky.
Keep it spooky, honey. And remember, love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. We love you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.